Hey, this is Deepak here from digitaldeepak.com and welcome to the next lesson in your Zapier Mastery course. So in this lesson, we are going to learn how to integrate payment gateway and your CRM tool together with Zapier. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to switch off some of these apps which have an expired authentication token. So what happens is that sometimes, especially with Google Sheets, the connection gets disconnected and you have to reconnect. So instead of just reconnecting it directly, I'm going to go ahead and delete some of the old zaps that I have created and recreate it as new zaps. And in the meantime, I'm also going to show you how these things work. So whenever a new sale happens in my payment gateway, I want the data to be captured inside a Google Sheet and I want a welcome email to be sent out to these people who have just purchased the course. And I also want to go ahead and send out a welcome SMS. So what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to open up this folder which says funnel 100 DBC, which stands for 100-day blogging course. And 100-day blogging course, by the way, is my best selling course. It has 100 videos related to blogging. And if you have not yet checked out the 100-day blogging course, I definitely recommend that you go ahead and have a look at it. So first I will go to InstaMojo. And one of the reasons that I'm using InstaMojo is because InstaMojo is a payment gateway for India, and there are a bunch of different payment gateways. But for people who are selling online information products, InstaMojo is pretty good. So InstaMojo does not have a direct integration with Zapier, and again, InstaMojo uses webhooks to pass on the data. So the first order of the business is to go ahead and create a brand new webhook. So what I will basically do is that I will say that the trigger is going to be a webhook which is data collected from InstaMojo. So first let me go ahead and create a new webhook. So it will be catch hook, and here you can just click on continue, and I will copy this. And here I will go to InstaMojo and I will click on products and store. And here I just have to go ahead and select the 100-day blogging course out of this list. So let's see where it is. So I have launched a lot of programs, a lot of courses, and created a lot of payment links over time. It has actually got buried on the second page. So here you can see the 100-day blogging course. So I will open this, and here I will go ahead and click on edit. So once I click on edit, then I will be able to land on this page in which there is something called advanced settings. So here in advanced settings, I can mention the webhook URL to which the data has to be posted to. So here I am going to give this particular URL which we just created and click on update. So now for the first time when you are setting up a Zap, you need to send sample data. And when you are going to go ahead and integrate your payment gateway and get notified on every payment, what happens is that the sample data does not come in real time for you to go ahead and map it with other things. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a 100% discount code, and with the 100% discount code I will go ahead and do a sample. So here the code will be, let's say, Deepak test 2019, and amount of will be 4999, and I will limit the quantity to 1 just to make sure that nobody else uses this code to make a purchase. So now I will just go ahead and add the discount code which we just created. So that would be question mark discount equal to Deepak test 2019. So this will give me a 0 rupee transaction, and I can go ahead and click on pay now and basically add my details here. So Deepak plus test 5 at pixeltrack.in, and I would just give my regular phone number and click on claim for free. So basically now the transaction is completed with 0 rupee transaction, and what is going to happen is that Zapier by now would have picked up the data. So let's go ahead and check this. So here you can see Zapier has picked up the data. Status credit, buyer name Deepak, offer slug, currency, everything has come here. So now I would go ahead and click on continue, and now I can go ahead and add an action step. So the usual action step is that I have to add the tag to active campaign, and the active campaign has to go ahead and deliver the product. So inside active campaign I have this particular automation setup called 100 dbc. So whenever someone purchases my 100-day blogging course, I want to go ahead and send an email to them to make sure that they get all the details necessary for accessing the course. And one thing that you have to notice here is that when I am creating the Zap and when Instamojo is sending details, it is going to say that the status is credited. So sometimes what happens is that a payment in Instamojo fails and the status would be failed. So what I will do is that I will go ahead and click on add a filter here. So this particular tutorial also helps you understand how filters works. So here I am going to say that only continue if, and here I am going to set a condition. So the condition is going to be, let's say the status contains credit. So if there is no credit contained in the status, then I cannot go ahead and pass the data to active campaign, because if it is a failed transaction and if people are just going to go ahead and try to make a payment and if the transaction still failed, then I would still be going ahead and sending an email with the access details, which will not be good. So here I will go ahead and click on test and continue. So here, since the sample data has this particular credit in the status, it says that your Zap would have continued. That is fine. So I would go ahead and click on next, and here I would go ahead and click on action step. So the action would be going ahead and adding the tag to Google Sheets. So here I would say create or update contact and the same active campaign account that I have connected, and here I would add it to the list 100 dbc, and the email address would be the first one which we collected, which is the buyer email ID. The name would be the buyer name, and I can also add phone numbers here. Because I am collecting the phone number anyway, I will pass on the data to active campaign. And here is the important thing, I have to add the tag as 100 dbc, because whenever someone purchases the 100-day blogging course, I want that particular contact to be added with the tag 100 dbc, and when the 100 dbc tag is added, that particular automation is going to go. And this particular automation is a pretty complex automation where I have made a lot of rules to make sure that people are following up with the lessons, and if they don't complete the lessons, I am going to continuously email them reminding them to go ahead and complete the lessons. So I will not get into the complexity of the email marketing workflow here, and that is something that I will cover in the active campaign mastery course. So now let's get back to the Zap. So here these are all the details that I need, and here I can also go ahead and add a custom field called revenue and go ahead and add the amount of revenue that this particular subscriber has given. So to add the revenue metric, what I need to do is that I just need to go ahead and open any contact inside my CRM, and I will go ahead and create a custom field called revenue, and I will go ahead and add the revenue details here. So I will say that add field, it could be a text input, and I would just call it revenue, and I will click on add contact field. So here revenue as a category has been added, and what I can do here is that I will just go ahead and click on refresh fields so that the new custom field is available. So here you can see revenue is now available, and what I would do is that I would go ahead and add the total amount that has been created as revenue. So here it is just 0 because it was a test transaction, but if someone is actually paying me money, then it would be added to the custom field. So that way inside active campaign I can also see how much revenue a particular customer has given me. So now I would go ahead and click on continue and send test to active campaign. So a test contact was sent to active campaign just now, so I can go ahead and click on finish, and I would say that this is 100 dbc sales. So ideally, I would also like to have a Google Sheet which can write out all the data that is coming in. So which I will go ahead and click on add a step and click on action or search. And here I would make a Google Sheet and I will create a new spreadsheet row. So first I have to go ahead and create a new sheet to make sure that all the 100-day blogging course sales are being captured in a sheet. So I will go to my Google Drive, click on new, click on Google Sheets, and here I will just say 100-day blogging course sales. So 100 DBC 2019 sales. So it is a new sheet and I need to think about what are all the columns that I need to add here. So what I would do is that I would go back and see what are all the data that has been captured by Instamojo in the first place. So I have status, I have buyer name, offer slug, currency. So many of these details I don't need. So I will just pick up the ones that I need. So email ID, name, and phone number are going to be the default ones, and I also need the status, I need the amount that has been credited, and let's see what other details I might need. So the offer slug I don't need the fees right now, or I can add the fees also. So if I add the fees here, then I will be able to see how much payment gateway fees I am adding. So let's go back and check the discount amount, the discount code, and the quantity. So I could go ahead and add all this. I could go ahead and add payment ID, discount code, and let's see if there is anything else I could add, and the discount amount as well. So I could add the discount amount as well. So this is going to be extremely useful for going ahead and creating invoices that I have to send to my customers if I have to. So I will just freeze this row. I always like freezing the first row which has the headers, and I usually go ahead and add a unique color to it. So now this is the data that I want on Google Sheets. So let's go ahead and try adding this to Google Sheets. So I need to choose the account, and I need to go ahead and click on spreadsheet 100 DBC 2019 sales and sheet 1. So here I will add all the details that I have captured from the webhook. So catch hook, I would take the email ID first. Here is the email ID, then you have the name. So ideally here you can see that instead of putting Google Sheets first and Active Campaign second, I have put Active Campaign first because sending out a welcome email and sending out the access details is very important, and usually Active Campaign does not throw any problems with access. Google Sheets, however, has access issues once in a while, so even if the particular data does not get written to a Google Sheet, it's still okay. I can go ahead and review, see if there are any pending tasks and run it. However, for the customer, it is very important that the customer goes ahead and gets the welcome email immediately. So here I would go ahead and enter the status as credit. So here you will be able to see that since I have added a filter which lets only the zaps with credit continue, I will not be capturing any failed transactions here. So if I have to capture any failed transactions, then I have to go ahead and create a similar zap. And that is useful for sending payment retry emails. So whenever someone has tried to pay but the transaction has failed, I can go ahead and send emails to them separately, which we will cover in a separate video on how to set up that particular zap. So here I will go ahead and add the amount. So amount is 0 in this case. So the fees, so here I will be able to get the fees, the payment ID which usually starts with Mojo, and the discount code. So here the discount code is very important because I can go ahead and set up an affiliate program inside 100-day blogging course based on the discount code, which we will have a look at in the future videos. and let me go ahead and add the discount amount as well. So here the discount amount is 4999. So these are all the details that the Google Sheet has in terms of header columns. So if I go ahead and click on send test to Google Sheets, you will be able to see that this particular row will get written here. So let me go ahead and change the color for this. So these are the details I have captured here. So whenever a new sale comes for my 100-day blogging course, all the details that are related to that particular sale is available as a first row on this sheet. And at the same time, the person who has signed up for the 100-day blogging course is going to get the welcome email via Active Campaign. So there are a lot more things I could do here. I could send a welcome email from my own Gmail account. I could send a welcome SMS, and I can do a lot of other things. And here you can see that instead of creating a separate webhook and trying to add it to the Google Sheet, I have created a multi-step zap. And in one of the previous videos, I have not recommended creating multi-step zaps because sometimes it might lead to problems. But in this specific case, I cannot create two zaps because there are two different webhooks, and Instamojo has option for adding only one webhook here, which you saw on the Instamojo settings page, unlike Unbounce where you can add multiple webhooks. So since I have only one webhook, I can have only one trigger in terms of webhooks, and I need to create a multi-step zap to make sure that the data is passed. I can also use Google Sheets as a trigger, and from there I can trigger a lot of different actions which we will be having a look in the future videos. So that's about it for this video. I have completed building the Zap, and I have completed creating a brand new Zap for my 100-day blogging course sales. So as soon as a sale happens, I'm going to filter it. I'm going to add the details to Active Campaign, and I'm going to write it on Google Sheets as well. So if you have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.